Welcome to China Undercover, where we lay bare the raw truths of a nation reeling from dual disasters. 8 days ago, a monstrous flood tore through Rangjiang, leaving a trail of mud loss and despair. Now, as the town struggles to rise from the wreckage, a blistering heat wave across China fuels a different kind of chaos. Electric vehicles bursting into flames, charging stations erupting, and drivers trapped in sweltering, unreliable cars. From Rangjiang's waterlogged ruins to Sichuan's fiery infernos, China is a nation under siege by nature, by failing technology, and by its own unraveling systems. Join us as we navigate the devastation from flooded markets to burning roads exposing the human toll and the broken promises of a country on the edge. Rangjiang's deluge, a town drowned in despair. 8 days after a cataclysmic flood ravaged Rangjiang Guizhou, the town remains a shadow of itself, submerged in chaos and heartbreak. The streets, once alive with commerce and community, are now choked with mud and debris, a testament to nature's unrelenting fury. I'm here to show you the unfiltered reality, not tales of recovery, but the grim struggle of a people fighting to survive. The basements of apartment complexes are still flooded, reeking of decay as garbage festers in stagnant water. Torrential rains continue to pound the town with nowhere for the water to drain. Even upper floors lack running water, forcing residents to live like castaways in their own homes. "It's like we've been thrown back centuries," said a local hauling buckets of murky water to his family. Outside the wholesale vegetable market, once a bustling hub from midnight to dawn, lies in ruins. Where vendors once unloaded crates under glowing streetlights, now only mud and scattered wreckage remain. A handful of shops have reopened, but customers are scarce. Fear and loss keep them away. The market's largest cooking oil supplier, run by a woman named Sister Liu, was obliterated. "We lost everything," she said, her voice hollow. "The first and second floors gone. Only 2 of us escaped that night." A fish wholesaler, a regular customer of mine, shared a gut-wrenching tale. On the eve of the flood, he received a truckload of fresh fish ready for the morning rush. The next day, the waters came cutting power and water. "The fish didn't wash away," he said, "but they all died rotting in the tanks." His losses are in the millions of yuan, a blow he may never recover from. The market's seafood and vegetable stalls have been leveled into muddy flats. Hit twice by flooding, the destruction is staggering. A luggage shop is now a pile of twisted metal and soggy goods. "Will the market ever reopen?" a vendor asked, staring at the wasteland. "Maybe not in our lifetime. Homes fare no better. Structures stand as hollow shells, their roofs and doors swept away. A wooden vegetable stand, once a neighborhood staple, is gone without a trace. The low-lying, floating barrel street, built on stilts, is a graveyard of debris, cleared painstakingly by hand by conscripted soldiers. "No one saw this coming," a volunteer said, wiping sweat from his brow. "It's like the river turned against us." At Holy Supermarket, mud and the stench of rotting fish linger even weeks after the flood. The water system remains offline, leaving businesses like my water shop paralyzed. "We're waiting for the pipes to work again," I said, "but it feels hopeless." My son arrived today only to witness the same despair. Rangjiang swings between merciless heat and relentless rain, soaking books and clothes left to dry. Water tanks untreated hold cloudy, foul liquid. Flooded shops face demolition, their interiors gutted. Lightly affected supermarkets have reopened, but they feel like refugee outposts. Meat and vegetables are sold only there, as open markets remain unusable. Flooded areas lack power and water, and damaged goods pile up, clothes sold at steep discounts, appliances like fans and rice cookers reduced to scrap. Food stores discarded contaminated stock, their walls stained black with mold. A jewelry shop owner sifts through his submerged inventory, salvaging what little he can. "One flood took us back to nothing," he said. "Maybe worse." The local middle school, still under construction, is a waterlogged ruin. The Rangjiang River, swollen by the confluence of the Dujiang and Dongjiang, became an unstoppable force piercing the town's heart. Cars remained trapped in mud with cleanup crews hauling out one truck yesterday and continuing today, their task endless. A liquor store owner earned praise for destroying flood-tainted bottles rather than selling them. But questions linger. Where are the 46,707 meal rations officials claim were distributed? Why was there no warning? Why are citizens left to clean rotting fish by hand? This is the worst disaster I've lived through, not just for the flood's destruction, but for the abandonment that followed. My own store is underwater, my livelihood erased. We're alive, but the dream of a full recovery feels like a cruel lie. All we can do is pick up the pieces, one shattered fragment at a time. A scorching ordeal. EVs in the heat wave. The summer of 2025 has turned China into a furnace, with temperatures soaring to 38 degrees Celsius, and beyond pushing electric vehicle owners to the edge. In a cramped EV, a couple bickers in the stifling heat. "Can't we turn on the AC?" the woman pleads, her voice strained. "If we do, we won't make it to the charging station." The man snaps, glancing nervously at the battery gauge. "It's 10 kilometers away, hold on." She groans. "It's too hot to breathe." He sighs. "You wanted this car. We've got to deal with it." This scene, shared on WeChat before being censored, captures the frustration gripping EV drivers. On July 7th, a catastrophic fire engulfed a Sichuan charging station, flames leaping into the sky as terrified onlookers watched. Photos showed a blaze so intense it threatened nearby homes, with some owners risking their lives to save their cars. They're choosing metal over survival. One witness posted on X before the comment was deleted. The fire's cause, whether a faulty charging pile or a spontaneous battery combustion, remains under investigation. But it's a stark warning: summer heat and lithium-ion batteries are a volatile mix. Once ignited, these batteries unleash an inferno in seconds, offering no escape. Another incident shook Majuan Guizhou on the same day. Near Xiangyun International, an EV burst into flames on the roadside, thick black smoke choking the air. Within a minute, the fire consumed the vehicle, leaving a charred husk. Firefighters extinguished the blaze, but the car was a total loss. Authorities suspect a circuit failure, urging owners to inspect vehicles regularly, prioritize safety, and flee at the first sign of fire. "Call emergency services immediately," a spokesperson warned. Don't hesitate. A fiery apocalypse. The heat wave's deadly toll. Since June 2025, China has been consumed by a heat wave of biblical intensity, with temperatures exceeding 40 degrees across multiple regions, transforming daily life into a fight for survival. In Changsha, Hunan, the 120 emergency hotline has been inundated, dispatching ambulances 105 times in a single week to treat heatstroke victims. In Shenzhen, from June 7th to July 7th, emergency services handled 122 heatstroke calls, rushing 78 people to hospitals, including 9 in critical condition. At Changsha Traditional Chinese Medicine Hospital, 5 patients remain in the ICU, their lives hanging by a thread. The victims are primarily outdoor workers, construction laborers, food delivery drivers, and street vendors forced to endure the sun's relentless assault. Heatstroke's progression is brutal. Mild symptoms escalate to moderate, then to severe heat illness, with a mortality rate reaching 70%. Doctors warn that without cooling within 6 hours, a 0.5 degrees C rise in body temperature increases the risk of multi-organ failure to 83%, tripling the chance of death. On July 6th, a 34-year-old man in Guangzhou collapsed with heat-induced cramps, his body racked by muscle spasms, limbs weakened, and kidneys failing. "We barely saved him," a doctor at the 3rd affiliated hospital of Guangzhou Medical University said. "He's stable now but still in intensive care. The heat is merciless." On July 8th, Guangdong issued 142 high-temperature warnings, with Shenzhen recording 37 degrees, described as suffocatingly unbearable. In Guangzhou, an orange alert flagged perceived daytime temperatures of 40 degrees C, with ground surfaces hitting 60 degrees C by 10 a.m. Hunan's pavements reached 74.1 degrees C on June 24th, hot enough to cause severe burns. Sichuan and Yunnan hit 43 degrees C, while Weihai Shandong recorded a record-breaking 42.4 degrees C on July 5. At a Weihai festival, dozens collapsed from heatstroke, forcing firefighters to spray water to cool the crowd. The cost of the EV dream, a personal tale. For many, the allure of EVs has turned into regret. Take Zhang Wei, a Henan native, who spent 70,000 yuan on a BYD Seagull hoping to save on fuel. "I bought into the hype," he said. "Now I wish I'd chosen a gas car." Last Chinese New Year, Zhang and his wife drove 1,000 kilometers from Henan to Shandong, a journey that should have taken 1 day. Instead, it stretched into 3 grueling days. In 5-10 degrees C weather, Zhang avoided the heater to preserve battery life. Despite a promised 305-kilometer range, the car needed recharging after just 200 kilometers, forcing 5 stops. Every time the battery hit 20 to 30%, "I was sweating bullets," he said. "That's range anxiety, real and exhausting." Charging stations were a nightmare with long queues and hours of waiting. "Gas cars fill up and go," Zhang said. "We were stuck, cold and frustrated." He had no choice. His EV was his only car. "Why did I pick an EV for a winter road trip?" he asked rhetorically. "Because it's all I had." Others share his pain. A friend of Zhang's nearly got stranded on a highway in his EV, stuck in traffic for 4 to 5 hours in 37 to 38 degrees C summer heat. Afraid to use the AC, he rolled down the windows, sweating through the ordeal. "Gas cars around me had their ACs blasting music, playing drivers relaxed," he said. "I was trapped in a sauna, watching the battery drop, too scared to move." The trip meant to be a vacation was ruined by traffic jams and charging delays. "China's EVs are a mess," he fumed. "Quality issues everywhere. Toxic fumes and hidden dangers. The risks go beyond fires." On July 8th, a chilling incident in Zhengzhou, Henan made headlines. Mr. Zhao, a local driver, approached his EV and noticed a foul sewer-like stench. Thinking it was the AC ducts, he opened the windows for air. But as he entered the car, he began suffocating, collapsing within seconds. "The smell knocked me out," he later told reporters from his hospital bed. His diagnosis: poisoning from a battery leak. His brother, who drove him to the hospital, vomited from the same odor. The manufacturer admitted that lithium batteries can emit toxic fumes when overheated beyond 300 degrees C, but no official response has been issued. Online netizens speculated the smell was hydrogen sulfide, a deadly gas resembling rotten eggs. "This isn't a car, it's a weapon," one commented on WeChat before the post was scrubbed. Another case involved a woman who fainted 25 seconds after entering her EV due to a noxious odor. After dismantling the vehicle, the after-sales manager confirmed a battery leak as the likely cause. These incidents have fueled fears that EVs are not just unreliable, but dangerous. A global warning: the Morning Midas disaster. The dangers aren't confined to China. On May 26th, the cargo ship Morning Midas left Yantai carrying over 3,000 vehicles, including 65 EVs and 681 hybrids, bound for Mexico. On June 3rd, a fire broke out near Alaska's Aleutian Islands, starting in the deck area where EVs were stored. The blaze spiraled out of control, forcing the 22 crew members to abandon ship. All were rescued, but the vessel drifted for weeks before sinking in the North Pacific. Experts suspect lithium batteries triggered the fire, a fear echoed by a Bloomberg report citing Allianz Insurance, which warned of severe risks when transporting EVs in bulk. Back in China, EV fires are surging, especially in the hot, humid months of June to August. In Nanning, a new energy vehicle erupted in flames near the Guangxi Provincial Museum, the cause still unknown. "I was thrilled when I bought my EV 2 years ago," said blogger Li Yang. "Now, the regret outweighs the joy." The hidden costs of EVs. Li Yang's story mirrors a growing sentiment. Initially swayed by promises of savings and eco-friendliness, he now faces the harsh realities of EV ownership. "I thought I'd save on fuel," he said. "I did, but maintenance costs are sky high. Insurance for EVs is 30% more expensive than for gas cars, and repairs are costly, limited to 4S dealerships. Roadside shops won't touch EVs," Lai said. "At 4S stores, you're at their mercy, fees pile up fast. The promised range is a mirage. Manufacturers claim hundreds of kilometers," Li said, "but real-world range is much less, especially in winter or on highways." His EV's battery degraded after a few years, requiring frequent charging that barely lasted. "Fast charging takes an hour. Slow charging 3 to 5, he said. "Gas cars fill up in minutes." Range anxiety haunts every trip, worsened by summer heat, which can cut range by up to 31% at 38 degrees Celsius. Li's experience in Beijing was telling. One morning, his EV showed 220 kilometers of range. Without driving, it dropped to 176 kilometers by evening, drained by parked cooling. "I used the AC 5 or 6 times to keep the cabin at 20 degrees Celsius, he said. "Each session cost me nearly 50 kilometers of range. In winter, the cold saps power. In summer, the heat does the same. It's a lose-lose," he said. "Resale value is another blow. Gas cars hold value after 10 years, Li noted. Dealers won't touch a 5-year-old EV. Battery replacement costs rival a new car's price, and with many EV makers operating at a loss, their lifetime warranties feel hollow. It's a trap, Li warned. Don't buy an EV for long trips. He sold his EV last month, switching to a gas car. 6 years of shrinking range and stress was enough, he said. Infrastructure is crumbling under the heat. In Guangzhou, asphalt roads split from thermal expansion, their cracks snaking across streets. A Douyin video showed a man frying an egg on a sun-heated sidewalk, the yolk sizzling instantly. In Shenzhen, a YouTube clip captured an electric vehicle bursting into flames at 38 degrees C, its lithium-ion battery overheating. 3 such incidents in Guangdong this month have left drivers terrified. Electric cars could explode any moment, a WeChat user wrote before the post was censored. Unverified social media reports from Hubei and Shandong claim crematoriums are overwhelmed. One netizen reported a Shandong County crematorium processing over 100 bodies daily, with another alleging hundreds died from heat in Linyi. By 11 a.m., they'd cremated 40 bodies, with 90 more waiting, a post claimed, before disappearing. Residents in Shandong, Xinjiang, Yunnan, Jiangsu, and Guangdong accuse authorities of underreporting temperatures. "It feels like 50 degrees, but they say 38 degrees C," one wrote. "The ground burns, and the forecasts are lies." Some even allege cover-ups of heat-related deaths, with one chilling claim. "This is perfect for organ harvesting. Stay alert." At Yantai Nanshan College, multiple students reportedly suffered heat stroke, with one unconfirmed death. A student claimed the school threatened punishment for posting online. At Qingdao University, a dormitory manager died from heat stroke, and 121 students at a Yantai middle school were affected. These incidents have deepened suspicions of underreporting, though evidence remains scarce. Environmental collapse. A nation under siege. The heat wave has triggered cascading crises. In Sichuan and Yunnan, hydropower hubs are faltering, with water levels down 60% from last year, nearly paralyzing the Beitan Dam. Yunnan's government sparked outrage by urging residents to bathe only 3 to 4 times a month. In Shenzhen, power outages in 36 degrees C heat lasted over 6 hours, leaving residents desperate. In Guangxi, a drought has left 83,000 without drinking water. Extreme weather compounds the chaos. Gansu saw a July snowstorm that buried grasslands, killing livestock. Xinjiang faced sandstorms and tornadoes disrupting highways. Beijing endured level 13 gusts, the strongest in a decade, while Guizhou reported egg-sized hail that damaged crops. Jiangsu saw virus-shaped hail injuring residents. Agriculture is reeling. Guangxi's lotus carp and rice crops died in overheated water, and a Sichuan pig farm lost 5,000 pigs in a blackout, costing 10 million yuan. Jiangxi floods caused 10 billion yuan in damages, affecting 290,000 people. Critics point to Xi's deforestation policies, which have worsened erosion as farmers plant on arid soil to meet quotas only to abandon barren fields. Economic ruin. Cities in decline. Shenzhen and Shanghai, once China's economic powerhouses, are crumbling. Shenzhen's industrial growth for January-May 2025 was a dismal 3.5%, down 8.8% year-on-year. Nearly 40% of businesses reported losses. Fixed asset investment fell 9.2%. Private investment dropped 11.8%, and exports declined 8.6%, with a 12.5% plunge to the U.S. railway freight. A key economic indicator slumped 18.9%. In Shanghai, despite claims of 5.1% GDP growth in Q1 2024, the city feels abandoned. Metro cars are nearly empty. Business districts see sparse foot traffic, and office vacancies are soaring. The migrant population dropped below 10 million in 2024, down 230,000, stalling the rental market. Ordinary people bear the brunt. In Shenzhen's Luohu district, a high school teacher received only a third of her May salary. Wage delays are rampant across tech firms, state-owned enterprises, and government agencies. Businesses are forcing voluntary resignations to cut costs. In Nanshan Park, office towers stand empty, some repurposed as shared workspaces. Shopping malls have become makeshift wet markets. Homelessness is surging, with unemployed programmers, laborers, and delivery drivers sleeping near Longhua bus station and under Futian CBD bridges. Cardboard shelters are everywhere, a blogger, Shenzhen Shadow, wrote. In Shanghai, a noodle shop owner, Lao Wang, said, "Business has never been worse. The city's too quiet," he said. "No one's spending." A former middle-class resident, now drowning in 400,000 yuan of debt from a failed restaurant, described his financial spiral. "I took loans to survive," he said. "Now my salary's gone before I earn it." 8 out of 10 Shanghai restaurants are struggling to stay afloat. Foreign firms are fleeing. On August 18, 2023, a Hong Kong-funded appliance company in Shenzhen closed. A September 2023 CSIS report noted 57% of Taiwanese firms are divesting from China due to rising costs and hostile regulations. Some owners dismantle equipment at night to escape quietly. Social unrest, a powder keg. Economic despair and extreme weather have ignited unrest. In Guangzhou's Huaba labor market, hundreds of migrant workers seek daily jobs, but 70% go home empty-handed. "I earn 2,000, 3,000 yuan a month for 3 kids," said worker Li Ming. It's impossible to live. Guangdong's infrastructure overspending has halted construction, stranding laborers. The real estate sector's collapse is devastating. New home prices are falling at their fastest rate in a decade, with foreclosures up 35% in early 2024. Over 10 million construction workers have left the industry in 2 years. A 60-year-old Guangzhou woman abandoned by her family faces homelessness. A subcontractor unpaid by developers and burdened with medical bills fears financial ruin will destroy his son's education. Protests are flaring. Yantai University students demanded air conditioning after a heat stroke death, chanting, "Where's our tuition?" In Jinghao, parents protested a student's death, accusing schools of silencing victims. In Guangxi, residents accused authorities of flooding homes by releasing dam water without warning. The Hunan 800 movement, sparked by a man's defiance over an 800 yuan fine, has become a symbol of resistance, though posts are quickly censored. Online dissent is surging. Freedom House reported 655 dissent events in Q1 2024, up 21%. China Labor Bulletin logged 1,800 labor unrest incidents in 2023, mostly in construction and manufacturing. Youth unemployment officially 5%, but unofficially 14.2% after peaking at 21.3% in 2023, is fueling despair. Nearly 12 million graduates in 2024 face bleak job prospects, with many lying flat to escape societal pressures. Mental health searches for anxiety and depression spiked 83% in 2023. Child suicides ages 5 to 14 rose 10% annually from 2010 to 2021, and youth suicides 15 to 24 surged 20% from 2017 to 2021, driven by academic pressure and limited mobility. Crime is rising: theft up 18%, fraud 33%, and dangerous driving 15%. A March 2024 incident in Taiwan, where a man killed 3 students by driving into a crowd, heightened fears of societal breakdown. A 2023 China Journal survey found public faith in merit-based mobility fading with inequality and connections now seen as wealth's drivers. From Rangjiang's flooded ruins to Sichuan's burning chargers, China is battling twin disasters. Floods have shattered livelihoods, while EVs meant to herald a green future are sparking fires and fears. As drivers like Zhang Wei and Li Yang face the harsh realities of range anxiety and toxic leaks, the nation's resilience is tested. Share this story, expose the truth, and join us in uncovering China's dual crisis. China's dual crisis. China's dual crisis. China's dual crisis.